You're watching Cartell TV and I'm Jenny.
I recently reviewed the fun little Jimny and it did steal my heart a bit. It's an off-road boss, affordable, and it never tries to be what it's not. And this is one of the main reasons I love it.
And apparently I'm not the only one. The Jimny has sold like hotcakes and already it's really difficult to get your hands on one.
However, the Vitara I have here is a bit different. It does try to be a bit more than it is, and that's just like the majority of the competitors. It's a subcompact vehicle, obviously aimed at city use, but still boasting off-road ability. Apparently having increased ground clearance immediately qualifies a car as an off-roader nowadays. Now don't get me wrong, the Vitara is not the only one. The competitors do the same, like the Toyota CHR, Honda HR-V, Hyundai Kona, and Mazda CX-3, just to name a few.
But that doesn't mean I have to like it.
This is what I thought when I was told I'd be doing this review, but then I got some specs and things did start to look a bit better.
Instead of the front-wheel drive version, I got the newest and top trim level with the turbo engine in a four-wheel drive, and it's called Suzuki Vitara Turbo AllGrip. Now let's see if the plush trim and the AllGrip four-wheel drive system are redeeming enough.
The 2019 facelift introduced some new features for the model that's been around since 2015. However, most of the upgrades are related to interior tech and safety. On the outside, the Vitara is still pretty much the same.
Now this isn't bad. It's modern with angular features, which gives it a bit of toughness and is reminiscent of previous Vitaras.
Add to this a pretty good ground clearance and generously spread cladding, and the Vitara looks pretty good for its class.
Those familiar with the pre-facelift model will notice that the bumper is slightly elevated in the middle now.
This is not just for the looks, but it's also a practical feature.
It actually makes room for the millimeter wave radar, which adds to the safety features, but more about that later.
Other than that, the Vitara has more pronounced wheel arches, especially so in the back, which hug the 17-inch polished alloy wheels.
The turbo trim gets two-tone, unless like me you went for the white, silver or black colour, and it's just one colour.
It's also got automatic LED headlights, while the AllGrip adds to this wonderful panoramic sunroof.
There are two engines for our market in the Vitara.
The first one is a well-proven but slightly outdated 1.6 litre VVT with 86 kilowatts of power and 156 Newton meters of torque.
By now it's pretty familiar to us,
but easily outshined by the latest turbocharged 1.4 litre BoosterJet. It packs 103 kilowatts and 220 Newton meters of torque. Additionally, the torque of the turbo version comes as early as 1500 RPM. Being the trim level called turbo, I have the 1.4 litre here. The smaller turbocharged unit has far more power and torque and consumes similar amounts of fuel, around 6 litres on average, at least officially. This engine in the small Swift Sport makes it a real pocket rocket.
It's matched with a 6-speed automatic as standard, and it's a good match.
The driving feel is a bit different in an SUV, but I really can't fault the engine. Turbo lag is minimal and the gearbox keeps you in comfortable revs all of the time.
Suspension is likewise great, and even though it's elevated, body roll is still minimal.
This makes it great to drive on the road. It's a really fun drive, which is a plus. Some cars can feel really soulless to drive, but the Vitara definitely has personality, steering confidence, and comfort.
However, on rougher roads, the Vitara is less accommodating.
The sharper suspension tune also means that it is bumpy on bad roads. However, this is pretty common on subcompact vehicles.
And another reason why I say they're not really meant to be used off-road.
There are some electronic nannies to help you with rougher terrains, but nothing special. Also, there is no low range.
Now, if you're looking for a small SUV with real off-road ability, then Jimny is going to be a better choice.
AllGrip is a good system, and it does change the way the car feels off-road. There are 4 modes to choose from, and you use this dial to do that.
Whenever you choose any of the modes, it will pop up on this 4.2-inch driver's display.
Auto mode aims to use as little fuel as possible, but it's always ready to turn on to 4-wheel drive if it detects that one of the wheels is slipping.
However, despite its fuel-efficient nature, it definitely responds when you put your foot down.
So it's the best of both worlds, really. Sport mode ups the driving pleasure in several ways. It remaps the software of the ECU and thus changes the way it delivers power and improves throttle response.
It sends more torque to the rear wheels, and that in turn adds a lot of fun in sharp turns.
Snow mode sounds like something we probably wouldn't need in Australia, but it's great for any slippery surface, including mud, wet leaves or sand.
It gives more traction, especially while accelerating.
Lock mode is used to further improve traction, and it optimizes all driving assist systems to get you out of a situation where you need additional traction.
Now, all this sounds really great and advanced, and it is. It's not as good as Jimny off-road, but in this category, it's definitely impressive.
So, this latest top trim Vitara Turbo AllGrip is not generally intended to be used as an off-roader, but it is surprisingly capable. The interior is not among the most modern, but it's very practical and easy to use.
For example, like the steering wheel, I mean, the buttons are all comfortably spaced apart, and it's really practical and quite attractive.
The instruments are really clear and easy to read, and the small display in the facelift version is a 4.2-inch colour LCD one. You also get a 7-inch infotainment screen with navigation, MirrorLink, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, the latter being another addition for the facelift.
The interface, it's not the best looking, but at least it's quick and responsive.
Anyway, connect your phone to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto and you can enjoy your own layout. Air vents are placed up nice and high and they surround this nice analog clock. A little 90s throwback.
Materials are good, but not really that special for a top trim level. I think the Mazda CX-3 is better in that respect. It's a little plasticky in here.
Storage is okay, having all the most common features like door pockets, glove box and cup holders. The most notable feature is the storage box under the armrest.
And the armrest slides so you can find the perfect position. Me like some ergonomicalness. Ergonomicality, whatever. It's ergonomical.
Panoramic sunroof in this trim is a really nice addition.
The front seats are actually really comfortable and the headrest has got a good position and is nice and soft. Suzuki have told us that the geometric pattern is new, and in the top trim level it's accented with leather and this suede-like material.
The front seats offer a good mix of comfort and support, and the rear ones are less supportive, as one would expect.
Legroom in the back isn't huge, but it's not really worse than any of the competitors.
This is a subcompact SUV after all, and what is great is the fact that Suzuki shunned sloping coupe-like roofline, which gives a lot of headroom in the rear.
The boot is a similar size to most competitors, and thankfully it does beat the CX-3's bizarrely small boot at 264 litres.
In the Vitara, you get 375 litres with the seats raised, 710 with the rear 60/40 bench folded, and a max capacity of 1120 when packed to the brim. Now, sadly, these rear seats don't fold completely flat.
The facelift added some safety features to catch up to some of the competition.
You get automatic lamps and wipers, keyless start, adaptive cruise control with speed limiter, ISOFIX, ABS, EBD, electronic stability control, autonomous emergency braking, blind spot monitor, rear cross traffic alert, high beam assist, hill hold control, hill descent control, brake assist, front and rear parking sensors, and a reversing camera.
The Vitara became more civil, or let's say urban.
It has suspension that's more geared towards dynamic turning than surmounting obstacles, and its safety perks are more for city and motorway use. It has an engine that's just perfect for relaxed cruising or sharp acceleration, and only the top trim has four-wheel drive.
This one is called Cool White and it's priced at just under 36,000 driver weight.
As a compact SUV in the city, it's a decent option. Sure, the CX-3 HRV and the Kona are more modern or avant-garde if that's what you're after.
But the Turbo AllGrip is better off-road. Some people like their SUVs more rugged, even small ones, and this is where Vitara fits. And thanks again for watching CarTell TV. And if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And if you're looking for a Vitara or any other car, cleverbuys.com.au. Not only is it really easy, but it's anonymous. That's the best part. So, see you next time. Peace.